Good afternoon, Cougar fans, and welcome to Concordia Stadium here on the campus of Concordia University, Chicago, as we get set for some women's soccer Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference action between your Concordia University Chicago Cougars and the visiting Green Knights of St. Norbert College. Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, joined by Van Gato. And let's look at what these teams have been doing a little bit, Van, before we send it down to field level. St. Norbert, the visitors, are coming in today 5-4-2 overall with a 3-1-1 conference record. Those conference wins were against Benedictine, Concordia, Wisconsin, and Lakeland. As for some of their leaders, Abby Thompson, Haley Leadingham, and Mallory Names all lead the team in goals with 4 apiece, while Thompson, she leads in total points. So St. Norbert coming in a very successful team so far this year. The Cougars, on the other hand, they're coming in 2-7-1 overall. However, they do have a 2-3 conference record, so just one game below 500 in those important conference games. As for their leaders, Jamie Siebert and Juliana Paulson, they both lead the team in goals with 2 apiece. Siebert leads the team in points with 5, her 2 goals and 1 assist. But, Van, this is a big game for the Cougars. They're looking to pull 500 in conference play. They have lost their last 3 conference games against Aurora, Wisconsin, Lutheran, and Illinois Tech. So before we send it down to the field, Van, let's really quick, what's your key to the game? What do the Cougars need to do to find success here today against St. Norbert?
The Cougars are really good at the defensive end. They've been funneling those shots to make sure the goalkeeper, either if it's Sheriff or Burnout, at the net, making sure those shots are easy for the team. However, their offense really needs to be established this game, making sure the ball's moved around, making sure the midfielders get that ball as far as possible into that goal and have these game-winning shots.
Well, offense is going to be the key to success for the Cougars. This is a very strong defensive unit, but goals per game-wise, the team not so high in that category, scoring just 0.7 goals a game. So CUC looking for a little bit more offense today, but we'll have to see if they can do it against a very talented St. Norbert's team. So we're going to send it down to the field for National Anthem and starting lineups. But first, we got 2 videos for everyone watching at home. First will be the Coaches Weekly, done with head coach of the women's soccer team, Eddie Garza. His weekly interview series that can be found on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. And then after that, we'll have a message from President of CUC, Dr. Russell Dawn. And we'll have the start of action for you as the Green Knights take it on the Cougars here in River Forest.
On Cougar fans, Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you this edition of Coaches Weekly. And once again, I'm joined by head coach of CUC Women's Soccer, Coach Garza. Welcome back to the show. Excited to talk to you today.
Excited to be here.
All right, well, Coach, since the last time we talked, you guys have played in 2 games. Let's first go back to Saturday. It was a 2-1 loss at WLC. Alani Burnell had a very good game, though, 17 saves. It's almost impossible to imagine that many saves. That was a career high for her. But it was your second straight 1-goal loss, unfortunately. So I guess let's start there. You know, after a couple of close losses like that, what does your team need to do? What were you telling your team to do to kind of get them over that hump? So next time they are in a close game like that, a 1-goal game, or even that 0-0 tie we saw against Lake Forest, what does your team need to do to execute in order to pull off those close wins?
Yeah, I mean, stay consistent, trust the process, continue to follow through, not put our heads down. I mean, it's conference play. As those 2 losses were decided by 1. Mm-hmm. We had good moments in the game, and again, right now the ball's just not bouncing in our favor. Mm-hmm. But you know, if we put our heads down and don't control the things that we're capable of doing, you know, the results are going to continue. Overall, We're 2-3 in conference, so you know, just below 500. But I mean, we have 8 games to play, so the goal is to, you know, focus on what we have in front of us, and you know, and take away the positives and the things we need to improve on from the past and continue forward.
Right, and scoring the goal in that WLC game was Jamie Siebert. She's having a very nice season offensively, tied for the team lead in goals with Juliana Paulson. But what is it that she does that makes her such a good offensive player? Obviously, she's got speed, she's got good placement, but in your eyes as head coach, what does Siebert do that puts her in those positions to get goals and just to be an offensive threat?
Yeah, more and more I'm seeing Jamie's believing in herself and has confidence. She's persistent in the attack, which is why, more often than not, I'm choosing her in the starting 11. She's very coachable and understands the game plan. And, she's a big facilitator of our, the opportunities we do create. And, I encourage her to the more that she stays at it, the more that she's going to create. And
Right.
it showed against that, the good goal that she scored against Wisconsin Luther.
Right. And then last night you guys were in action at IIT, dropped that one 3-0, and like you said, you're 2-3 in conference play now. So what are some of the improvements you're hoping to see from this team as you go forward in conference play? What does this team kind of need to do to kind of get back to 500 in conference play and then hopefully exceed 500 and start winning a couple more games?
Yeah, the team really proved yesterday that they can play with the best. IIT right now is in the top of the conference.
Very good team.
We came in with a game plan and strategy, adjusted our tactics. The team executed.
Okay.
And we were very unfortunate that the goal that we gave up was 75 minutes in off of penalty kick. And, it moments like that kills some of the momentum, but that's just a game of soccer, with luck and chance at times. But even their coach shared a lot of positive feedback on the team because, coming in, he probably underestimated us a little bit, but we also did create a few opportunities against the top team. So we're leaving that game with a lot of, confidence and momentum that we want to carry into Sunday's game.
Right. And then last week we talked about kind of your strategy when you go on the road for a couple games in a row. And now I kind of want to ask the inverse because 5 of your next 6 games are here at CUC. So hopefully you guys are able to get some home cooking going. But I mean, what is that like, being able to play at home during an important stretch of play too? I mean, we're in the heart of conference play now, knowing that most of those games are going to come at home over the next 6 games.
Yeah, we with planning, not having to travel, every team that plays at home has some advantage, so we have to take advantage of it. We're also 2-0 at home, so we want to continue that record, so we have that to motivate us and continue fighting for us. But overall, with our home crowd, even this weekend being homecoming, I think it's a good opportunity for us to really, continue, get us back to 500 and continue our, and stay perfect at home for conference play.
Definitely. Well, the next game for CUC women's soccer is this Sunday at 1 p.m. when they welcome St. Norbert College to River Forest. Coverage for that game can be found on our website, cucougars.com, and the live stream on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. Coach Garza, thanks again for joining me today, and good luck in the next couple of games. Look forward to talking to you again same time next week. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go
Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
The national anthem has been played and the starting lineups have been said, so let's go through it one more time for everyone watching at home. First, for the visiting Green Knights of St. Norbert College, starting in goal is number 98, Clara Bainmark. And then at defense, number 6, Michelle Piro. Midfield, number 8, Mallory Names. Midfield, number 11, Kate Schweitzer. At forward, number 12, Haley Leadingham. At defense, number 13, Paige Westerman. At defense, number 17, Mackenzie Schneider. And at defense, number 21, Melanie Simon. At defense and midfield, number 24, Sarah Welsh. At forward, number 26, Abby Thompson. And at midfield, number 27, Meredith Pozansky. And now the starting lineup for your Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Starting in goal is number 0, Alani Burnell. At defense, number 2, Hannah Bowers. At midfield, number 3, Allie Brown. At defense, number 5, Megan Wilkinson McQuaid. At forward, number 7, Jamie Siebert. Defense, number 8, Grace Glodowski. At midfield, number 9, Pamela Saldivar. At midfield, number 11, Itzel Calderon. At defense, number 12, Valeria Fernandez. At midfield, number 14, Izzy Fairless. And at forward, number 17, Melika Kenworthy. Head coaching staff for both squads for the Green Knights. Assistants are Katie Guns, Ellie Wybush, Dane Steger, and Ben Vander Avond. The head coach of the Green Knights is Bob Rickards, his 4th season with the squad. Meanwhile, for the Cougars, their assistant coaches are Shelby Sims, Allison Snowden, and Ben Kreutz. Head coach in his 2nd season is Eddie Garza.
Today, Cougars need to find those holes on offense and make sure they move the ball as fast as possible and as quick as possible to the defensive side for St. Norbert to ultimately win this game.
As St. Norbert, they'll move left to right on your screen. They start off on the attack. St. Norbert wearing their all green away unis with white lettering. The Cougars, their white home kits with maroon lettering. But let's talk about these goalies a little bit. First for the Green Knights is 98, Clara Bainmark, coming all the way to Green Bay from Matola, Sweden. Bainmark, 652 minutes and a half of action, 12 goals against, has made 45 saves for a .789 save percentage. Meanwhile, for the Cougars, they're using the Riverside, California native Alani Burnell, 585 minutes of action across 8 games, 14 goals, 70 saves, a 2.15 goals against average, and an .833 save percentage, as a 1-7 record on the year. As a fight for it at mid-pitch, Green Knights come away with it. Haley Leadingham, she brings it up to the middle. Leadingham, the pass over to Abby Thompson. Thompson hands it to Welsh. And now here's going to be a shot, and it's way over the net. So first shot of the day comes from St. Norbert. It misses high, and Lonnie Burnell will get set for the goal kick. Burnell having herself a very successful sophomore season with the team, as her goal kick is bounced around off a couple of heads. Eventually goes out. Last touch by CUC. In terms of goalie leaders, Bernal, she ranks third in the conference in saves, second in save percentage, and then in goals against average, she has the 10th lowest mark. As for saves per game, she's second as well, 8.75. Had a 17 save game at WLC this past a week ago from today. Excuse me, a week ago from yesterday. It was last Saturday. Due to the homecoming football game yesterday, these home games getting pushed to today for both the women's team and then the men's soccer team at CUC playing host to St. Norbert's men's team after this game. To the conclusion of this one, the men's teams will have some time to warm up before they get started, as here's a corner kick from St. Norbert. Ball bounces away from everybody. Paige Westerman tried to get a boot on it. She couldn't. She does keep it in bounds, however, pursued by Fairless, as this ball is behind a spinning Leadingham. Now Fairless, she gets pushed down to the ground. So foul on St. Norbert, which means CUC get a free kick coming up. Malka Kenworthy will kick it off.
Be interesting to see how the Cougars, now that the ball is in their court, see how they push that ball forward and set up that opportunity to possibly score a goal.
CUC kicking off from about their own 23-yard line as this ball takes a bounce past Fairless. And out of bounds, which means St. Norbert with the throw-in. Goes to Kenworthy. She kicks it up. It's going to stay in bounds. There's a race between Calderon and Mackenzie Schneider for it. Ball is still bouncing, eventually rolls out. Last touch CUC. Throw-in coming up for St. Norbert. Ball fought for on the near sideline. Last touch before going out of bounds off St. Norbert, so a chance for a deep free kick here for the Cougars. There's actually a foul on St. Norbert. Malka Kenworthy sets up out of bounds. The defenses and offenses set up in the goal box. Kenworthy puts this one towards the goal, and it's going to bounce all the way to Bainmark, who scoops it up. Easy play for the junior from Sweden, as now she gets her team going the other way. Ball out of bounds, throw in by St. Norbert on the far sideline. In control of it now as well. She's going to give it back to her defense. As kicking it up is Pazanski. Now the ball heading back towards St. Norbert's side of the pitch. Bainmark kicks it off. And taking a bounce off the foot of Leadingham. Teams fight for control. Here comes Allie Brown, one of the senior captains of this Cougars team. She puts the ball forward for no one. It's going to roll all the way to Bainmark. As the junior picks it up. Goal kick there. Lands in the chest of Pazanski. Here's Siebert. Tries to dance around the defense. No luck there. Mid-pitch fight now. As Allie Brown kicks it ahead. Race forward's going to be won by Schneider. She just boxes out Fairless, so the ball rolls out of bounds. Last touch by CUC. As kicking it back to Bainmark is Westerman. Paige Westerman now in control, hands it to Schneider. Fight for possession there. Kicked ahead now. As here comes St. Norbert. They got 2-on-3. Ball now in the feet of number 12, Leadingham. She loses it. CUC's defense tries to clear it, but St. Norbert's right there in the form of Posanski. And CUC having troubles getting it out of their own end. St. Norbert playing tough defense up front to keep it in the Cougars' defensive end. Ball back to Welsh. She's going to set this one all the way back to mid-pitch for her midfield to work with. Welsh now knocks it ahead. Ball tipped up ahead and then off the head of Kenworthy. Over to Schweitzer. She loses it. Here comes Fairless now. Izzy Fairless, the freshman. She runs into a body there. Ball takes a couple bounces back to Fairless. And her pass is turned over to St. Norbert there with Posanski. A fight for the ball from either side that's coming in and intercepting that one is Grace Glodowski. Glodowski eventually loses it. St. Norbert trying to dance around this Cougars midfield. Now coming in with some speed is Posanski, and she gets tripped up from behind. No call on the play. Megan Wilkinson-McQuaid might have gotten away with one there. Kicked up the far sideline. Here's Wilkinson-McQuaid. Finds Siebert. Siebert tries to touch it to Calderon, and this ball will roll out of bounds just barely. Siebert a step or two behind it.
Seems like the Green Knights have really established control of this game, making sure the ball is moved around on their side. So the Cougars need to find that opportunity to take that ball and make sure they have control of the offense.
Green Knights executing some solid ball movement to keep it away from the Cougars. In terms of the history between these two teams, they have only, in fact, played it twice, dating back to 2021. And in those two games, the Cougars are 0-1-1, a 2-2 tie in their first ever meeting in 2021. That was at St. Norbert. And then last season here at River Forest, St. Norbert pulled off a win by the skin of their teeth, 1-0 over the Cougars. CUC looking to pull off their first career win against St. Norbert. As bringing it up the field now is Luciana Moran-Cruz. And now Jamie Siebert had a chance there. She's going to get ruled offsides. So Siebert, a good chance at offensive possession, spoiled by the offsides call. Now, strong kick. It's going to roll all the way into the Cougars' goal box, and just tipping it to her goalie is Fernandez. Fernandez now, her kick is blocked immediately by Kate Schweitzer. And now the Cougars trying to move this one ahead. Off the noggin of Glodowski. Ball takes a few bounces before getting to Siebert. She heads it over her defender and Piro. Out of bounds off of the Cougars. Throw in for the Green Knights. Bringing it up now is Leadingham. Excuse me, it's Westerman. Dancing with it is Milani Simon, excuse me, as Bainmark hands it back to Westerman. Westerman now leaves it off for Simon. Simon kicks it up ahead to Mallory Names, who gives it back to their back line. Green Knights content with working through their defensive front to clear this ball. They're spending a decent chunk of time in their own end, just dribbling, passing around the Cougars, trying to get possession. Ball kicked ahead of everyone, but it's going to roll to Alani Burnell. She gets control of it, now brings it up in her hands. Alani Burnell, a high arcing goal kick. Eventually rolls its way to Leadingham. Leadingham over to Abby Thompson. This one knocked ahead. Fernandez racing for it with one green jersey. That is Schweitzer. And possession awarded to the Green Knights. So Schweitzer with the throw in deep in CUC territory. Schweitzer gives it to Names. Names now knocks it around. As there's a shot attempt from Haley Leadingham. Did not get a lot on it, so no problem for Alani Burnell to come out and snag. So UC going to keep this one scoreless. 32:04 left to go here in the first half. Both these teams looking to get something going offensively. We get a whistle blown, a foul on CUC. Free kick coming up for the Green Knights. In terms of shots right now, it's 2-1 in favor of the Green Knights, but the Cougars, they have the only shot on goal in this game. That one coming off the foot of Kenworth. It was that free kick that rolled all the way to Bainmark. Not really a shot, more as just a rolling ball that Bainmark was able to pick up. Goes down as a save in her name, however. Only save of the day so far. Mallory Names now tries to dribble away from some CUC defenders. Looking to pick this ball off the head of Names, now off the head of Wilkinson McQuaid. Moran Cruz sends it to mid-pitch. Allie Brown can't win the race to it as now the Cougars get control here. Here comes Izzy Fairless, ruled offsides. And, man, that's the second golden opportunity we've seen from the Cougars, spoiled by an offsides call. You got to think if they were just able to stay on sides there, they might have been able to make something of that chance. And then we saw Jamie Sieberts not too long ago as well.
The offense really needs to keep that ball in their court, make sure that they are not past the last defender, because these opportunities are there, but they're not capitalizing on them. Thus, the Cougars need to figure out ways that they could keep that ball on the court without being offsides.
So Fairless and Siebert both having chances at breakaways, ruled offsides, which means that they'll have to start at their own end now. They're approaching the 30-minute mark remaining in the first half. Both teams still looking for something offensively. As here's a ball easily picked off by Fairless. She skips it ahead. No Cougars able to get there before Sarah Welsh is, and now the Green Knights have to work with it in their own end as pursuing heavily was Moran Cruz. Bainmark kicks it ahead to one of her defenders. Green Knights, trying to find a lane to the Cougars' goal. This one knocked ahead. Here's Schweitzer. Schweitzer can't do anything to get past number 12. That's Valeria Fernandez. And it will result in a goal kick here for Alani Burnell.
The Cougars doing what they do best, making sure that the defensive end is strong, especially with an offensive team like the Green Knights.
Yeah, Green Knights offense so far this year, 1.64 goals per game. If you look at where that ranks amongst the rest of the NAC, it is 11th, but it is 3 spot higher than the Cougars, who are seeing that worst for goals per game at their mark of 700, or 0.7 if you want to look at it that way. Golden Knights do have a trio, of 4-goal scorers. We mentioned them in the pregame show. As here's a shot right into the chest of Alani Bernal. Good handle there from the Cougar sophomore keep. She keeps the Green Knights off the board. Takes a couple bounces after the mid-pitch. Coming in for it is Michelle Piro. She knocks it out. Last touch will be ruled on CUC, however, so throw-in coming up for St. Norbert. Couple changes here as some of the players near the sideline able to grab some water. It is a warmer day out here in River Forest. The official temperature is 84. Oh, it's going to be a little bit hotter down there on the turf with the sun beating down. Not a single cloud in the sky. Gorgeous day, except be a little warmer than what these players want. Way they'll work through it on this Sunday afternoon. 27:53 left to go in the first half. Throw in here by Green Knights. And pulling the moves to beat the oncoming Moran Cruz was Simon. As this ball is going to get kicked all the way back to Bainmark. Bainmark now controls it. The Swedish keeper passes it ahead to Chelsea Martinez. Excuse me, that was Paige Westerman. Westerman, a freshman out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. As now up ahead for it is Haley Leadingham. Leadingham tries to give it back, to Abby Thompson, and right there was Megan Wilkins-McQuaid to try and pick it off. Now it's rolling up the far sideline towards the scoring table down on the field. Last touch CUC, so throw-in coming up here for the Green Knights. Throw-in targets Sarah Welsh. Ball bounces a bit. Welsh passes it horizontally to Mackenzie Schneider. She moves it back now to Westerman. Fight for it at midfield. A couple white and green jerseys all in the vicinity. Green comes out on top. Handling it is Mallory Names, who one of those 3 players I mentioned as a goal leader for St. Norbert with 4. As her pass goes out of bounds, last touch by the team in green. Grace Glodowski gets set for a throw-in. She bounces one past the Cougars bench. Nice attempt there from Moran Cruz. Wasn't able to go anywhere after pulling out a couple moves.
It seems like the Green Knights are pulling all the stops out on their ball handling, making sure none of the Cougars get an opportunity to keep that ball in possession on their side.
Yeah, despite CUC and the Green Knights being tied at 1 shot on goal each, time of possession has heavily favored the team in green, which is something that this CUC squad has struggled with this year, is just keeping that offensive possession consistent. So they have a lot of quick trips down to the offensive end of the pitch and back, while Green Knights favoring more control. Jimmy Siebert, her kick knocks off a green jersey, and now the Golden Knights in control. This one put on net. Alani Bernal with a little hop comes up to make the save. Alani Bernal hasn't been challenged Really a lot this game, but on the 2 shots she has faced, she's made the most of them with 2 saves.
This is that funneling we talked about in previous games. The defense really just sets up these opportunities for Burnell to get those easy shots and have those goalkeeper numbers that she's known for.
Yeah, obviously, at the end of the day, the save goes under the goalie's name, but it's also just as much on the defense to make sure that she's facing easy shots. Not that any shot is particularly easy to save, but easier shots than others. Hardly see teams firing on Burnell from the middle of the pitch or from right in front of the box or in the box. CUC's defense does a good job of keeping those shots at an angle out towards the wings. And Burnell responds accordingly. She's got 2 saves on her 2 chances today. Throw in now coming from Schneider. Fight for it on the near sideline. Last touch by CUC before it goes out. Throw-in for Names. Her throw-in takes the bounce off the head of Fernandez. Bounces out. Another throw-in. This time it was Schweitzer. And that kick from her intended target, Mackenzie Schneider, goes out of bounds. Pass up the near sideline. Some nice touches there from the Green Knights as they're trying to move it ahead. Here comes Kate Schweitzer now in the corner. Centering pass, and off the head at a bad angle was Haley Leadingham. Set up perfectly to head that one in. Just took a bad bounce off the side of her head. .22:30 remaining in the first half. We are officially halfway through the first half. In terms of team stats, St. Norbert 6 shots to Concordia's 1. 2 of those were on goal for St. Norbert, while Concordia's only shot was on goal. 2 saves for Alani Burnell, 1 for Bainmark. 2-1 Green Knights have in the disadvantage in terms of fouls. Green Knights have had 1 corner. Cougars still looking for their first. Then offside, CUC has been flagged twice, while the Green Knights still not found themselves offsides today. Cougars, they'll try to move it down. Fighting for it on the near sideline is Lucia Filoni. Lucia Filoni, usually a starter on this Cougar squad, coming off the bench today, as Coach Garza likes to do that with some of his seniors, save them for the bench unit so they can come out in that first or second wave of substitutions to lead everyone else. Also on the field now for the Cougars is number 16, Denise Carr. As she fights for it here, Denise Carr wins the run out, and Bainmark just barely gets it in time. Denise Carr beating out Westerman for a one-on-one with the goalie, but the ball just a couple of hops in front of Carr. Bainmark able to scoop it up right before Denise Carr got there. And Van, we've talked about Carr before on some of these broadcasts, that despite her being just a freshman, she's really impressed with her abilities on the field. She's a strong player, but she's also a very fast player. You see a lot of her just leading the attack on offense, coming ahead of everybody. As here's a shot from St. Norbert, saved by Burnell.
But speaking of Carr's speed, because of the Cougars, they don't have a lot of opportunities to keep that ball in possession. When that ball slips away, Carr is usually there to keep the ball forward and get those one-on-one opportunities. So it's great on a team against St. Norbert, who has such control, for someone to be quick to get, when those balls slip, be up there.
Carr, sets up on the near sideline usually, the near sideline side of the pitch. Here's a kick from the 50-yard line. Ball rolling. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by CUC, so it'll be a goal kick for Bainmark. In the mid-pitch on the far sideline, right in front of the St. Norbert bench, it rolls out. Throw-in coming up for the Green Knights. Less than 19 minutes to go here in the first half. Now pass ahead to Leadingham. It gets kicked back towards mid-pitch. Here's Sarah Welsh. And now the Green Knights are going to retreat all the way back to Bainmark, who's at the Green Knights' own 20-yard line, roughly. 20-yard line marker on the CUC field. Football game played here just yesterday, the big homecoming game. Cougars unfortunately dropping that one to Concordia, Wisconsin. So this turf seen plenty of action in the last 2 days, and we'll see one more game after this one as the men's team of these two schools playing each other. Burnell set for a goal kick as some substitutions are made. Madeline Georgopoulos checks in for CUC while Moran Cruz, she's out. And now here's Denise Carr, another chance for the freshman. Me and Van were just talking about this. Denise Carr coming in one-on-one with the goalie. There's a shot, and it's over the goal. Denise Carr battling for the ball with Westerman. It was those two and then Bainmark. And Van, we just talked about it, but it's opportunities exactly like that that you want to see out of Denise Carr, and that's really what she brings to this team.
Especially being subbed in late when these players start to get tired. Carr with her speed gains that advantage, and on top of the other players losing steam, she sets up these opportunities that are perfect for the Cougars that are not as strong offensively as they are defensively.
The speedster Carr out of Rock Island, Illinois, coming off the bench, provides that jolt of energy Van just mentioned in terms of the speed category. Ball goes out, last touch ruled on Siebert, so a goal kick for Bainmark. That was probably the best opportunity we've seen from either team today. And Bainmark just getting tied up with the defensive player Westerman, then Bainmark coming out at the end also complicate matters. It did go through the uprights though. About 24 hours too late for that to count for anything.
But a play like that also builds so much momentum for the Cougars. You can see they're a little bit more energetic right now in the field.
They're spending some time down in the Green Knights territory, which is also a good sign. Again, Green Knights kind of dominating time of possession right now. As ball goes out again off the Green Knights, so a deep throw in here for Grace Glodowski and the Cougars. It's knocked up and goes out of bounds again, so Glodowski, she'll move up about 5 to 10 yards on the throw-in. Cougars continue to make their way closer and closer to the Green Knights' goal, as checking in now is Juliana Paulson, number 21. Again, Paulson, a team leader in goals scored with 2. And she's checking in here. We had the later stages of the first half. This ball rolls out of bounds out the back end. Last touch by CUC, so goal kick coming out for Bainmark. Been a weekend full of CUC athletics at River Forest and at other places as well. We'll go back to yesterday, both cross countries in action at the Warrior Invitational at Wisconsin Lutheran College. Men's team finishing 11th of the 14 teams there. The women's team, they had a 5th place finish of the 11 teams they had to compete with. Meanwhile, the women's volleyball team, they were playing St. Norbert as here comes Lucia Falone. Lucia Falone, a chance here, a shot and a slow roller right into the hands of Bainmark. Lucia Falone just not getting enough on it. Still a good possession to see out of the Cougars and the senior Falone, but man, you got to think if Falone had that one back, she tried to maybe place that one a little out of reach of Bainmark. Instead, she puts it right into her mitts.
Seemed like a missed kick, even if she looked like she was aiming for the back right corner, but she just slipped when kicking it. Unfortunately, that is tough for the Cougars, but the Cougars still seem to have that high energy, which is troubling for St. Norbert, and they've been slipping up on their defense and losing less time with their ball handling.
So CUC, back to our weekend recap. CUC and St. Norbert did face off yesterday in some women's volleyball action. Cougars dropping that one to the Green Knights 3-0. Very complete game from the Green Knights. They clinched it with a 25-8 win in the third set. And then, as I already mentioned, CUC football taking on CUW in the homecoming game. There's a high-scoring affair, 99 total points. CUW came out on top, however, 57-42 in a thriller of a shootout. And then today, both soccer's in action against the Green Knights here in River Forest. The men's team scheduled to start their game at 3:30. But that is left up to flexibility, depending on what happens when this game wraps up. Parker Kelly, Rafael Gonzalez will be on the call for that one. As this ball kicked ahead to Carr, she decides to take it back a little bit, and offsides ruled on CUC once again. CUC having trouble keeping the ball, staying behind that last line of defense. Ball bounces out of bounds. Last touch ruled on CUC. Green Knights throw in. Ball is going to get kicked back to Bainmark. And now it's knocked ahead. It's going to go all the way to Ken Worthy on the Cougars' own 40-yard line. Here comes Fernandez. And Falone knocks it up back. Hannah Bowers, number 2 in white. Haven't really had a chance to say her name yet. One of the starters of today's game still in it, as here comes Paulson out. Paulson's got some speed to her game. She kicks it ahead of everyone, and it's just going to roll to the goalie's box where Bainmark can scoop it up.
Cougars towards the latter half of this game, this half, have made sure that they continue the ball and trying to make up for those lost minutes, trying to get as many opportunities to score.
Ball bounced around by Abby Moore of the Green Knights. Now here's going to be a shot, and reaching for it is Alani Burnell. Nice reach there by the Cougars sophomore. Keeping this shutout alive on CUC's end.
Burnell has been having a strong save day. 5 saves so far.
And Burnell Again, one of the league leaders in a ton of goalie statistics in the NAC, as going head over heels was number 22, Lizzie Gearin. She rolls around. Back to Green Knights for a second. They still have possession, and now they lose it as Kenworthy kicks it away. Carr takes it off the chest. And Denise Carr just speeding through everybody. The ball eventually finds its way back to Bainmark. Intercepting that pass was Mackenzie Schneider, as the Cougs and Green Knights fight for control on the near sideline. Fernandez down to Kenworthy. 8:33 left to go in the first half. No, maybe just a few major stoppages so far. Some subs were made. Other than that, we've just been cruising through this first half. No goals yet. Not that many shots either. Green Knights, they're at 9, 5 of which have found the goal, but the Cougars, they only have 3 shots, 2 of which Bainmark has had to make a play on. Other than that, it's been a pretty consistent pace of play here as Denise Carr gets knocked down to the ground, tries to, almost look like she tried to hurdle Schneider, and then Schneider just kind of stood up a little more, and that's what caused Carr to fall. And it results in a free kick for CUC. Malika Kenworthy set to do the honors. Everyone to her right. Meanwhile, she's got Denise Carr down to her left. As she kicks this one towards the middle of the goal box. Allie Brown got a foot on it. Bounces way past Carr, and now a saving kick to keep it out of bounds. Kenworthy wrestling Haley Leadingham for it. It's eventually knocked towards Valeria Fernandez and the Cougars' defensive end. Hannah Bowers with it now. We are in the final 7 minutes of the first half now. And both these teams trying to see if they can head into the locker room up by a goal. Knocking ahead is Georgiopolis, but intercepting that pass was Schneider.
The Cougars really need to establish some ball handling to the skills of the Green Knights, which that is their strongest suit. They need to find that way to, instead of having these breakaway and one-on-ones, move that ball forward just on the ends of their passing and dribbling.
Yeah, Cougars, they do rely on those isolation plays, those one-on-one chances a lot. And when you have a speedy team like Coach Garza does with CUC, you can get something out of that, but at the end of the day, you figure coaches much prefer maintaining possession, keeping the ball on the offensive end. The best defense is a good offense. Often, your team can't score if it's on their end of the pitch. That's something CUC trying to work in, as they've still been reliant on those one-on-one fast break opportunities today. As there's a fight for it on the Cougar side of the pitch. This one's going to roll all the way to Alani Burnell. Burnell still handling it, using as much time up as she possibly can. Eventually kicks this one. It takes a bounce off the shoulder of Bailey Padrzewski. on the far sideline. Paulson trying to get possession. It's going to go off her foot as we get a break here for some substitutions. Less than 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. These two squads trying to find that last gear in the final minutes of the first half. Go into that halftime break up by a goal at least, but so far no one's come close other than a couple of chances from the Cougars. Denise Carr, her breakaway attempt, and then Lucia Falone had a very nice shooting position. Unfortunately, couldn't do much with it. As here's Carr again racing for it. Not going to be able to get there before it rolls to Bainmark. With the ball now is Schneider. Schneider to Kenworthy. Kenworthy loses it to the vicinity of Meredith Pazanski. Going to break here. Clock still running. Some water dished out to players. And it is a hotter one. The officials talking things over. Now the clock has stopped. After some cooler days over the past few weeks, I think officials making sure every player is.
Cougar Nation, we love the support you give us on and off the field. To donate to our athletic communications department, hit the thank you button below.
This helps us continue to have the best live stream possible for some great Cougar soccer moments. Thank you and enjoy the game.
Going to complete the journey there. Now the officials talking to head coach of the Green Knights, Bob Rickard. So while they talk things over, we're going to take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network. And when we come back, we got 2:37 left to go in the first half.
We appreciate you tuning into today's game. To stay up to date on all things CUC women's soccer, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUCWSOC.
We'll see you on campus soon.
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network as play has resumed. 2:37 left to go in the first half. We'll have more information on what exactly that stoppage was about. A heat break, something you brought up, Van, is a possibility. Again, it is a little bit of a hotter day here in River Forest for a fall game in October, 84 degrees. So referees making sure the players stay hydrated. We haven't seen any injuries yet, knock on wood.
Both teams could use the water break to their advantage to stop momentum that's building and to start to create momentum on the other end. Both teams really haven't seen they've seen attempts but haven't seen any results from their shots. So during that time, they could use to discuss how they're going to go forward with either the playmaking or with those breakaways, how they're going to make those attempts to get those goals.
Yeah, and even just the break, a chance for all the players to catch their breath a little and really be able to go 110% in the last 90 seconds of the half. Takes a high bounce as we are officially at the 1 minute mark. coming up here for CUC. 50 seconds left on the clock. So St. Norbert will have a chance for a deep throw in here. Bounces out of bounds right in front of the table. Center pitch. Now it's kicked up. Still in the Cougars' third. They have to be careful. We're 10 seconds left. St. Norbert's going to look for a last chance shot as this one will roll all the way to Burnell. She's just going to hold on to it for the final 2 seconds. She does. And the whistles blow to signify the end of the first half here. A defensive showdown in River Forest. Van alluded to it in the pregame show, and that's what we got here. As we head into the halftime break, we are looking at a 0-0 tie between the Cougars and the Green Knights. We'll be back in 15 minutes or so, and we'll have second half action as one of these two teams looks to find some offense and take a lead and hopefully come away from River Forest with a win. Find out who's going to be able to do that when we're back on the Cougar Sports Network in just a bit.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
Hey, I'm Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane.
So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet. So it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall. So the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there.
Concordia Hall at Concordia University Chicago.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces: a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Second half just a minute and 25 seconds away from starting here in River Forest as the Cougars and Green Knights are tied up at 0-0. Let's look over some of the stat leaders of the game so far. In terms of the goalies, Alani Burnell, she's got 5 saves under her name, while Clara Bainmark has 2. Offensively, no goal scorers yet because of the 0-0 tie, but in terms of shots for St. Norbert, it's Haley Leadingham. She has 5, 2 of which have found their way on goal, as the 2 of Abby Thompson's shots. Meanwhile, for the Cougars, Malika Kenworthy, Lucia Falone, and Denise Carr all have a shot, while Kenworthy's and Falone, they found their way to the net to be saved. But Van, you got a 0-0 tie here. This is a big game for the Cougars, looking to pull 500 on the conference record. They're sitting at 2-3 right now. What's the one adjustment, if you had to pinpoint one from the first half to second half, you want to see in order for the Cougars to find success here in the second half of the game?
Offense. The Cougars had 2 offsides calls. They also haven't really had opportunities besides the breakaways to really score or get that opportunity to score. So if the Cougars can find that time to keep the ball in their possession longer, or just even make some plays to get the shots past just the wings or on breakaways.
I want to remind fans that information about the women's soccer team, as well as all athletics at CUC, can be found on our website, cucougars.com. All you have to do is go to cucougars.com, look under the sports tab, and you can find information on every team on campus, like the women's soccer team. That includes roster, schedule, stats, and more. Once again, that is cucougars.com. Also, should mention that today, a special game for CUC, as it is the breast cancer awareness game. You see the warm-up shirts all the CUC players were wearing were pink. You still see a couple of them on the bench. The coaching staff, Eddie Garza and his crew, all wearing pink shirts as well for breast cancer awareness. If you wish to donate to the CUC Women's Soccer fundraiser for the cause, you can go to cucougars.com, and there is a donate tab you can click on. Help the women's soccer team fundraise for a very noble cause. The scoreboard at Concordia Stadium also tinted pink for today's game. It's a slight tint, but it's there. But in terms of the soccer on the field, every player getting ready to resume action. St. Norbert, they've taken their positions, while the Cougars one last huddle before they head out to their respective positions and kick off this game, the second half of the game, I should say. Be a big half of action here for both squads. Cougars, so far this season, haven't had a major first half, second half split. In terms of goals scored, it is 4-3 over the year. Shots 41-46 between the two halves over the season. Saves about equal, 49-41. Corners 17-15. Fouls have seen improvements by the time the Cougars get to the second half. 46 in the first so far this season, 35 in the second half. But the Cougars are going to need at least a goal here as of right now to try and pull away with a victory against St. Norbert, as they're going to get a chance right here. Denise Carr racing for it, and she trips up Bainmark. Bainmark on the ground. The ball is loose. Bainmark's going to come out and just kick it out. Smart play there by Bainmark as she gives herself and her defense a chance to reset.
Time and time again, this is what we established. Carr's strongest attribute to the team is her speed. Her speed, moving the ball up the court, making sure she gets those one-on-one opportunities, and Brown really set her up for that right there.
The Cougars trying to make something happen deep in St. Norbert's zone immediately in the second half, first couple minutes of the second half. In fact, we are still in the first minute, 44:02 left to go on the clock. And the game, bringing it up now, is Schweitzer. Schweitzer sends it across. Nobody's there. This one is going to roll all the way out of bounds. CUC possession coming up. Reminder that there is no overtime anymore in this level of soccer. Whatever the final score is at the end of 90 minutes is the final score, win, loss, or tie. So we are 43 minutes and 28 seconds away from a tie. Right now, obviously that would change when the first goal is scored. If the first goal is scored, the Cougars have already been in a 0-0 tie so far this year. That was against Lake Forest here in River Forest. Playing at Lake Forest in River Forest. Many forests around the Chicagoland area. That game came on September 17th. Ball rolling back to Bainmark. She'll get a chance for a goal kick here. Throw in on the near sideline. Denise Carr kicks it out. Possession will stay with the Green Knights. Popped up off the foot of Glodowski. Now handling it is Abby Thompson. Thompson, she'll put a shot on. It misses wide right. Abby Thompson. So far this year, she's got 4 goals. One of the team leaders in goals. Tied for the team lead. She's the team leader in points with 13. Much better shot there. Missed wide right. Up behind the goal. On the far sideline, excuse me. Milk Kenworthy will get set for a free kick after the foul on St. Norbert. Kenworthy, a long kick there, lands on Fairless. Actually goes out off a white jersey, Green Knight throw-in. So you see, gets control back, but Green Knight's right there, get control back again.
The Cougars brought out a lot of energy coming into the second half, and it's fun to see them carry this over into their defense and their offense towards the 40-minute mark. But the Cougars really need to convert that energy into just communication and cooperation with all sides of the offense, because the defense seems strong at communicating and getting the ball around.
Goal kick here from Burnell. Ball knocked forward. Here comes Leadingham. Her shot bounces off Hannah Bowers. Good block there by the Cougars defender. 5'8", one of the taller players on the field. And she stood in the way of that one, shouldered it. Fernandez passes it ahead. Nice touch there by Fairless. Now it's tipped ahead to Allie Brown. Allie Brown, she's got a defender right on her back. Brown able to keep her out. Allie Brown now passes it, tries to pass it ahead. Right there is Piro. Now ball's in control of Names. And here's Welsh with some room to operate. She tries to center that one, not sure to whom. Now this ball knocked ahead, and that's just going to roll all the way to Alani Burnell. Green Knights try to get something going towards the Cougar net, but, Bowers is right there. Now there's Georgiopolis. Carr racing for it. She almost wins it, but instead she just ends up kicking it out. Good pressure there from Piero. As Piero throws it in to Melanie Simon. A ball knocked ahead near sideline. Grace Godowski right there for the throw-in. Bringing it up is Names. Names trying to find someone. Instead, she sends it to Glodowski, who boots it forward. Whistle blown, however. Free kick coming up here for the team in green. Off there, right into the hands of Burnell. Free kick coming up here to do the honors for St. Norbert will be Simon, a senior out of Palatine, Illinois. Palatine High School alum. She wraps up her career here at St. Norbert, barring any fifth-year action like that. Now a throw from Alani Burnell. It lands in the foot of Fairless. She quickly loses it to Schneider, who kicks it towards the near sideline. Getting tripped up is Fernandez. Green Knights still in control. Here's a good chance here. Pass across, intercepted by Grace Glodowski. Nice move there by number 8 in white. A centering pass would have set up the Green Knights shooter perfectly. That would have been Abby Thompson, 4 goals on the year. Fought for. Lucia Falone hands it off to Glodowski. Glodowski kicks it ahead. Here's Denise Carr. Denise Carr loses it to Michelle Piro. Carr gets it back, however. Carr working through the mid-pitch. Don't see her often. She's usually on one of the sidelines, and her pass is immediately intercepted by Schneider. Now bounce off the head of Wilkinson McQuaid. Green Knights bring it into the goal box, looking for a move here. Behind the back pass. That shot blocked by Melika Kenworthy off the foot of Haley Leadingham. This Cougars defense doing some good work in the shot blocking category. As two players topple on each other, whistle blown. See if there's a foul on the play. I believe there will be, so free kick coming up for the Green Knights. The Green Knights set up in front of the goal. Here's the kick. Right to the goal and headed out by a Cougars defender. I believe that was Megan Wilkinson McQuaid who got her head on it. Now racing to it is number 24, Sarah Welsh, and she'll just boot it back to her goalie, Bainmark. Bainmark hands it off to her defender, who kicks it up. That one off the foot of Leadingham and out. We got some substitutions here.
The Cougars are trying to find this opportunity on offense, but keep falling short with their keeping the ball in possession. However, on the defensive side, they are funneling really well and making sure that the Green Knights don't have that opportunity to make those hard shots. We've seen a lot of shots from the wings for the Green Knights, but not really any close to the goalkeeper.
No, that is a CUC defensive specialty. Coach Garza has even said that before, where he doesn't care how many shots his team gives up. If they are, subpar shots offensively that are relatively easy saves for either Burnell or Brooke Sheriff when she's in goal, then he's fine giving those shots up as long as they are nothing too difficult for his keepers to handle. So Bainmark gets set to kick it off here. Clock is still stopped at 31:03 as the referee's talking things over. One of them talking to coach of the Cougars, Eddie Garza. Now, the ball gets picked off by Hannah Bowers. That was Haley Leadingham coming ahead, full head of steam. We're going to get a possession here for CUC. Glodowski on the near sideline. Ball knocked up off the combined bodies of Allie Brown and Meredith Przanski. Ball taking some bounces into the corner now. Denise Carr. And she's just going to kick it off the shins of Melanie Simon and out. It went out the back, so we got a corner kick coming up here for CUC. This will be the first corner kick for the Cougars today. And we'll see who they bring in to do it. It'll be Kenworthy. She's usually the one to do corner kicks, free kicks, whatever they may be. Kenworthy, everyone in front of the goal, kicks it. This one takes a bounce off a chest and out to the left of the goal. So no shot on goal for CUC. And there'll be a goal kick now coming up for Bainmark. Norbert controlling it deep in their own side of the pitch. Less than 29 minutes to go here in the game. As this one takes a bounce off Wilkinson McQuaid's head. She fights for it now with Abby Thompson. Takes a couple bounces, eventually goes out. Possession awarded to CUC, the home squad. Gladowski will throw it in here for the Cougs. Overhead throw lands at the foot of Michelle Piro. Ball rolling, it just stays in bounds.
It seems like whatever team can get that momentum to score the first goal of the game will be ultimately the winner of this game. They'll continue to carry that momentum and discourage the other team.
So momentum is going to be big here as we're about to hit the halfway point of the second half, about 5 minutes or so away from that point. And we're entering the late stages of this game. Whistle blown. Free kick coming up here for the Cougars. Malka Kenworthy, as per usual, will do the honors. Throwing deep in St. Norbert territory for the Cougars. They try to find Siebert. Siebert's kick will go back up to Megan Wilkinson-McQuaid. She kicks this one out the back. So goal kick coming up here for Bainmark. Ball bounced around, knocked out of bounds. Last touch off the foot of Abby Thompson. So throw in. That one hits the shins of Denise Carr. And now there's a St. Norbert player on the ground. It is Thompson. And she's slow to get up, trying to shake everything out. Looks like she'll be fine, remain in the game. This one bounces right into the midst of Alani Burnell. A high bounce on it, but nothing the sophomore keep can't handle for CUC. Ball bounces into the foot of Mallory Names. Now this one knocked ahead. It's rolling towards the goal. Fernandez kicks it up. It's still in play here as Bowers takes a head on it, and it is going to go out. I believe it was before the flag. It was. So it'll just be about as close to a corner kick as you can get, still being a throw-in. Now the whistles blow. Violation on St. Norbert, so CUC going to get a free kick out of it. Well, after today, St. Norbert will head to Alverno College on Wednesday, October 4th for a 3 p.m. matchup against the Inferno from Milwaukee. And a week from today, they'll round out their week of play with a home game against the Rockford University Regents. As for the Cougars, they got another home game coming up this Wednesday, October 4th at 3 p.m. against Marion University. And then following that, they'll play again Saturday in 6 days, October 7th at the Milwaukee School of Engineering. So welcoming the Sabres to River Forest and then going to take on some Raiders in Milwaukee. Following that game, they'll enter the final 5 games of the season. Hard to believe that they're already less than a month away now from ending their season. And St. Norbert, a good chance here, and it's knocked away by Allie Brown. Great defensive play from the senior captain. In prime shooting position was Abby Moore, and Brown came out nowhere to kick it away from her. But going back to this women's schedule for CUC soccer, final 5 games, 3 of them are home, Benedictine, Concordia, Wisconsin, and Edgewood. And then their final 2 games of the year will be on the road at Alverno and at Dominican. They'll finish out their year with a little Division Street rivalry. Always a fun way to end the season. But for now, they got 22 minutes and 15 seconds to figure out how to beat the Green Knights of St. Norbert. Green Knights will get a corner kick here. Doing the honors is number 8, Mallory Names. Names now. Centering kick off the head and skimming off the head. It's going to keep rolling towards the far sideline. And the ball knocked back out of bounds. Last touch by the Green Knights. So we'll get a CUC possession here. Only 1 shot on goal in this half so far, and it came off the foot of a Green Knight. Lonnie Burnell making the save on it. That shot came off the foot of Kate Schweitzer back at the 64-55 mark of the game. Other than that, it's been a continued defensive battle between the Green Knights and Cougars. In terms of their defenses, the Cougars, they have the 6th best defense in the conference with their mark of 1.5 goals given up per game, while the Green Knights, they sit at 11th, 2.09 goals given up per game. And here's a chip shot. It's going to head to Bainmark. Cougars close there. Georgopoulos and Paulson both right in the vicinity. Now Paulson, she's on a trajectory to hunt that ball down. Great speed to get into defensive positioning as the ball knocked forward. Here comes Glodowski. Grace Glodowski knocked up ahead and out of bounds. Georgopoulos picks off that ball. Now she'll bring it into the low corner. Georgopoulos looking to the center. She will try to center it. Instead, this one's going to go out the back of the pitch, which means goal kick coming up for Bainmark and the Green Knights, as we are under 20 minutes away from the end of today's game. Both teams still looking for that first goal.
When versing a team that keeps the ball in possession, the Cougars really had to step up their speed and defense, which is why they kept in this game, making it to both sides being 0-0. But ultimately, which side, either if the Green Knights keep their carryover possession and keep the ball in their court compared to the Cougars' defense, and if they get out of position and find that opening, that will ultimately stir the tides of this game, and the Cougars may not recover. And if the other way around, if the defense is so strong and the breakaways work out for the Cougars, the Knights may not be able to, in turn, break away from that.
Yeah, it feels like whoever is able to find the first goal of this game is probably going to come away the victor. If either team's able to, again, a 0-0 tie, perfectly in the realm of probability. As here's a ball loose in front of the net, still loose. The Cougars finally able to knock it away. As this ball is heading out of bounds, last touch by the Green Knights. An excellent opportunity there for the team from St. Norbert, but Cougars able to keep it away thanks to their defense. Cougars controlling it on the far sideline. It was Fernandez. She had to get rid of it before 23. Abigail Rabido made a play on the ball. It was out of bounds. Last touch by a Green Knight, they're going to say. It looked like it was last touch by Fernandez. Instead, Cougars get a throw in here. Fernandez throws it in, tries to find Falone.
Seems like Cougars got a free kick. A perfect opportunity to set up that to have the ball in their court, build that momentum, and possibly have the first goal of the game.
Yeah, excellent free kick position here for CUC. They got a good angle, got a chance here to make something happen. Less than 16 minutes to go here in the game. The kick is off. It's heading towards the goal. There's a header, and it's just wide right. An excellent opportunity there, Valeria Fernandez. It looked like the ball was heading in. Fernandez tried to change its direction with that header because it looked like it was going to hit a defensive player. And Fernandez's header just a little too strong. It sends it wide right of the right pipe. And we are still sitting at a 0-0 tie. Cougars almost taking the lead. And now here's a chance here. Offsides ruled. As that gets some groans from the crowd. Another offside strikes an excellent Cougars offensive chance. Cougars having troubles with the offsides all day today. And it's not even that they're just running into offsides, it's that these offsides are killing excellent offensive chances where the Cougars have breakaway 1-on-0 opportunities. That'll be offsides number 5 against CUC. Green Knights, they only got 2 on their record today. Definitely a problem that me and Vane have discussed already, that Cougars are going to need to shape up. They want to win this game and then going forward.
Cougars really established that they could beat out the other team on these breakaways. They could usually get the ball moving on their court. Even if the shot doesn't go in, they have those opportunities to get those goals. So as long as they keep on sides, they can have those opportunities and possibly the ball will go in their court.
Here's a kick across horizontally by Melanie Simon. Knocked ahead, Allie Brown. She had an option in Moran Cruz, but I believe Moran Cruz would have been caught offside, so she had to take a couple steps back. This ball knocked ahead. Great foot there from Michelle Piro. That was headed to a wide open Paulson, and here Paulson is again, and Bainmark comes out, makes a sliding stop. Paulson kind of stumbled when she decided to accelerate towards that ball. And that probably is the reason Bainmark was able to get there first. Ball in front of the Cougars' goal boxes. Here is number 22, Lizzie Gearin for the Green Knights. And now a shot here from number 9. Melanie Simon. Here's a ball way back towards the Cougars' box. Glodowski tried to clear it, but it hit Names on its way out. As here's a shot wide over the top of the goal.
Seems like a common thread for these Green Knights to really only get these opportunities from way back, multiple times having that ball sky up in the air or just straight to Burnell.
That ball was heading towards the CUC net. Hannah Bowers, a nice header to keep it from going anywhere. Dangerous for CUC. Throw-in coming up for St. Norbert. And some substitutions occur. Clock still running. And now here's the throw-in. Ball just kicked back to the player who threw it in. Denise Carr will check into the game for the Cougars. That'll be a good sign for the offense. Maybe Carr able to pull out something with her speed as we are under 10 minutes away from this game wrapping up. Both teams still looking for that first goal. Ball kicked over the benches, takes a couple of hops on the track. And there'll be a throw in here for Fernandez as clock continues to wind down. Throw in now by Mackenzie Schneider. Ball rolls toward mid-pitch. Two teams fight for it. Kenworthy tries to knock it ahead. It gets booted right back to her. Goes all the way back to Bainmark. She just kicks it ahead in order to get set up. It'll be a free kick for St. Norbert. 8:23 left to go in the game as we are closing in on a finish here on a 0-0 tie. Unless one of these teams decides to put a goal up here in the final now 8 minutes. As this one bounces almost over Burnell. The ball still on the ground. Burnell scoops it up. Burnell came out to make a play on it, and she got fingers as it bounced over her head. Able to knock it to the ground and then fall on it, but a almost catastrophic play there from Milani Burnell.
Seems like both teams are now becoming impatient, trying to get as many opportunities and can make these mistakes to try to get this game to their advantage.
Yeah, Burnell maybe a little too aggressive to come out and try and scoop that one up off the high bounce that almost went over her head. Burnell stands at 5-5. That was a very high bounce. Kenworthy kicks this one back towards the Green Knights third. Now takes a couple hops off some heads. Ball working towards the goal. Denise Carr trying to race for it as she gets knocked to the ground. Cougars wanting a foul. They're not going to get anything from the officials. Officials letting them play. Now this ball knocked out. Last touch ruled on CUC, so throw-in coming up here for Abby Thompson. It's a far kick. And trying to race for it is Lederham. She gets there. She is on sides. Lederham, she comes in, tries to work around the defense. She gets tangled up by Grace Sklodowski. Good defense there by number 8 in white. And then it kicked out of bounds off the foot of Abby Thompson.
The Green Knights' possession time has really gone down towards this latter half of the second half, trying to get every opportunity they can score, but instead they opted for the quick plays, the one-on-one opportunities that the Cougars usually opts in for their offense.
Green Knights trying to get control back here on the Cougars side of the pitch. They can, as now the Cougars had it for a second. This ball rolling towards the corner. Deep throw in from the Cougars in their own defensive side. Denise Carr works with it, able to keep it in. Hannah Bowers knocks it ahead. Good kick there through everybody. Now Juliana Paulson keeps it moving down the pitch, but it rolls out the near sideline. Out of bounds off. And Green Knights, CUC throwing 4.5 minutes to go. Off the head and out from Melanie Simon. So throwing coming here for Glodowski. Brown, she kicks it off the shins of Pazanski and out. Kicked up, takes a few bounces. Here's Pamela Saldivar. Hannah Bauer, she sends it towards the middle of everything. It gets knocked around, still bouncing around. Saldivar kicked up ahead. Here comes Paulson. It just scoots by her, though. Juliana Paulson had a chance to make something happen, just could not corral that pass. Kicking it off here for the Green Knights was Schneider. Schneider, a long kick as it keeps on rolling into the Cougar side of the pitch. And Megan Wilkinson McQuaid just boots it to Bernal. She immediately kicks this one. Fairless keeps it in with a nice right foot. And it eventually rolls out off CUC. Throwing for the Green Knights. Everyone picking up the tempo a little bit here. Green Knight on the ground. Refs swallow the whistles. No flag. Here's Saldivar. Saldivar leaves it for no one. The Green Knights pick it up because of that. Now the Green Knights moving in offensively. Here's a chance for the lead. The shot, and it is just wide left. Amazing opportunity there from Haley Leadingham, and she misses the left pipe by a few feet. Leadingham, a great opportunity under the 2.5-minute mark. She cannot capitalize on it. And now these teams have less than 2 minutes to do something offensively.
Whatever team seems to remain the most calm will probably end up being the winner or even tie of this game. Each team has become very frantic as it comes narrow. The time becomes more narrow, trying to get that opportunity to score. But ultimately, both teams have been coming out flat and not been able to capitalize on these one-on-ones.
Corner kick here for St. Norbert, and it is a big one. 91 seconds to go in the game. The corner kick heading towards the goal, and it takes a bounce into the back of the net off a Norbert head. St. Norbert scores with 1:26 remaining. Oh my goodness, what a turn of events here at the end of the game. Less than a minute and a half to go until the end, and St. Norbert takes a 1-0 lead. We'll have to see who is officially accredited to. It's Melanie Simon. As there were a bunch of bodies in the vicinity, she was the one who our official scorer said it went off the top of her head. And because of that, CUC now has a minute 26 to pull away with a tie, when before it was a minute 26 until a win if they could have gotten a goal. And now they have to worry about scoring a goal. They have to score a goal here. And that ball's still in. It gets kicked towards the St. Norbert goal. Allie Brown works with it. Ball stays in bounds. Here comes Megan Wilkinson McQuaid. Kicks it up ahead to Fernandez. Cougars, they got 40 seconds to make some magic happen. A quick throw in as we are under 30 seconds away. Whistles blow. The clock is still running. Cougars have to get something going here. A quick throw in. Saldivar Tries to dribble with it. She's going to try to put it towards the net. Ball takes a couple bounces. Kicked out by Simon, the goal scorer. Playing good defense. Under 10 seconds to go. Cougars trying to get in control of the ball. It's on their own side of the pitch. Wilkinson McQuaid just launches it, and that will do it from River Forest. A goal with less than 90 seconds to go in the game. And the Cougars will have to head to the locker rooms with a devastating loss at the hands of St. Norbert. I think everyone kind of trying to find the right words as the Cougars, again, less than 90 seconds away from walking away with a tie, and then a last-second header from Melanie Simon crushes those dreams and hands the Cougars a loss. So CUC with the loss, they fought a 2-8-1 overall, 2-4 in conference play. While with the win, St. Norbert, they improved to 6-4-2, 4-1-1 in conference play. As for the stat leaders, Alani Burnell, still a good day from her, 6 saves on the day. It's just the one goal given up was a very inopportune time to give up that goal, while Clara Bainmark made 2 saves on the only 2 shots she faced. Offensively, the lone goal scorer was Melanie Simon. She was assisted by Abby Thompson. Wow, for the Cougars, only 2 shots on goal coming from Melika Kenworthy and Lucia Falone, but been a tough loss for CUC today. I mean, what were your main takeaways from this game, and how do the Cougars build going forth from here?
With an offensive threat like Carr and her speed, there's really one thing that the whole team as a whole needs to take in consideration is making sure we could set up more plays than these one-on-ones that Carr has been did today. Also, they just need to create these opportunities to score more goals. On the other end, their defense is very strong. That unfortunate way to end the game with an offensive team like St. Norbert, they did minimize the team to only 1 goal, which compared to other teams is very strong, especially with a defensive threat like the Cougars and Burnell in the goal.
Well, that'll do it for today's game and this Cougar Sports Network production. I want to thank everyone who was making it possible. Working our cameras were William Bishop Green and Jessica Gang. Our producer for the day, Sydney Lloyd. Down at the table, Sebastian Miller. Our official statter for the day was Ashley Schroll, and working scoreboard and our public address system was Wyatt McLaughlin. We're under the direction of our Assistant Sports Information Director, Sydney Plaskas-Laher, and our Sports Information Director, Kayla McLeod. Van Gato joining me all day on this Cougar Sports Network production. But one more time, the Cougars, they dropped this 1-0 against the St. Norbert College Green Knights. They'll be back in action this Wednesday, October 4th, with the 3 p.m. matchup against Marian University. Coverage can be found at our website, cucougars.com, the live stream on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski sign off of the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go Cougars.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.